Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, we're diving into a story that's been making waves across the NFL, and especially among Browns fans. It's about one of the most dominant yet complex figures on the team, Myles Garrett. Everyone knows Garrett's talent, his explosiveness, his ability to wreak havoc in opposing backfields. But lately, there's been a lot of talk about his future, his frustrations, and what all of this means for the Cleveland Browns moving forward. And trust me, this is not just another off-season story. No, this one could have long-term implications for both Garrett and the franchise. So let's set the scene. Myles Garrett, as you all know, is not just a star. He's the face of this Browns defense. Since entering the league, he's established himself as one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL, regularly terrorizing quarterbacks and earning All-Pro honors. His impact on the field is undeniable. But as much as he's been a leader and a cornerstone, there's been a cloud hanging over his head this offseason. Garrett made it very clear that he wanted out of Cleveland. Yes, you heard that right. He requested a trade, a move that in the NFL usually signals a player's dissatisfaction or a desire for a new environment. And when a superstar like Garrett expresses such a desire, teams tend to listen because talent like his doesn't come around every day. However, what's interesting, and honestly quite surprising, is that Garrett didn't push for that trade endlessly. Instead, he chose to stay, and in a move that surprised many, he agreed to a no-trade clause in a massive contract extension. That's a big deal. It shows that despite his frustrations, Garrett still believes in the franchise, or at least in the potential of the Browns to turn things around. But as the saying goes, actions speak louder than words, and his reactions during games, especially in tough moments, have raised eyebrows. Just recently, after the Week 8 loss to the New England Patriots, a game that honestly was a blowout, Garrett appeared visibly frustrated on the sidelines. That's not unusual for a passionate player, but what's noteworthy is the way some insiders and fans are interpreting his body language and reaction. Scott Petrak, a respected NFL insider and Browns analyst, didn't hold back when discussing Garrett's current state of mind. He openly expressed that he believes Garrett is frustrated and that he unquestionably wants to win. But Petrak also posed a question that's worth pondering. When will that frustration reach a breaking point? Is it just a matter of time before Garrett's visible emotions start affecting his performance or his relationship with the team? Those are the questions many Browns fans are asking right now, and they're valid. Because let's be honest, Garrett's frustration isn't coming out of nowhere. It's a reflection of the team's struggles, especially in the recent games, and perhaps also a sign of the internal pressure he's feeling. Now, it's important to understand the context. Garrett knows what he signed up for when he committed to Cleveland. He knew the roster, the coaching staff, the front office, and the team's overall plans. He's a smart guy, and he's been around the league long enough to understand that Cleveland isn't some quick-fix team. It's a franchise in transition trying to build a winning culture. When Garrett signed his extension, he could have kept pushing for a trade, chasing a bigger paycheck elsewhere. But he chose to stay to be part of this rebuild and to lead the defense. That's commendable, but it also puts him under a microscope. Because leadership in the NFL isn't just about talent. It's about attitude, resilience, and the ability to inspire your teammates, even when things aren't going your way. And speaking of the team's current state, the Browns have faced some challenges this season. They've had moments of brilliance, no doubt. Their defense, with Garrett leading the charge, has been formidable at times, but the offense has struggled to find consistency, and that puts pressure on the defense to carry the team. Garrett, as the leader on that line, has felt that pressure acutely. His frustration during the Patriots game was palpable, and it's a reminder that even the best players are affected by team struggles. It's not just about individual performance, it's about the collective effort, and right now, Cleveland is still looking for that perfect harmony. The question now is, how will this situation develop? Will Garrett's frustrations boil over, or will he continue to be a leader despite the adversity? The Browns are at a crossroads. They could either rally around Garrett, support him, and work toward turning this season around, or the ongoing frustrations could create further internal challenges. It's a delicate balancing act. The team's coaching staff and front office need to manage not just the X's and O's, but also the mental and emotional well-being of their star players. And Garrett himself needs to find a way to channel that frustration into motivation, to push the team forward rather than let it become a distraction. Looking ahead, there's also the matter of Garrett's future. As I mentioned earlier, he's in a unique position. He's under contract with a no-trade clause, which means he's essentially committed for now. But if the situation continues to deteriorate, questions about his long-term happiness and commitment will inevitably arise. Browns fans should remember, though, that Garrett's decision to stay might be a sign of his belief in the team's potential, or perhaps his desire to lead a turnaround from within. Whatever the case, his leadership will be crucial in the coming weeks. The Browns need him to be the dominant force they know he can be, but they also need him to be emotionally resilient. And let's not forget about the bigger picture here. The AFC North is a fiercely competitive division. The Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers are all vying for supremacy, and each game counts. If Cleveland wants to make a serious push for the playoffs and beyond, they need Garrett firing on all cylinders. That means managing his frustrations, keeping his focus, and channeling his energy into helping the team succeed. The coaching staff's role is vital in this process, finding ways to keep Garrett motivated, engaged, and confident, even when the results aren't immediate. Now I want to take a moment to talk about what all of this means for the Browns' season. It's no secret that Cleveland has been inconsistent at times, but they've shown flashes of brilliance, especially on defense where Garrett is the anchor. If he can harness his frustration and turn it into a positive force, that could be the catalyst for a strong second half of the season. On the other hand, if the internal frustrations continue to build, it could lead to a downward spiral, affecting team chemistry and performance. That's why leadership, mental toughness, and a clear plan are crucial right now. The Browns have the talent and the potential, but they need the right mindset. Looking at Garrett's recent reactions, it's clear that he's not one to hide his emotions. That fiery passion is part of what makes him great, but it can also be a double-edged sword. The key is for him to find a way to stay focused on the bigger goal, winning, helping his team succeed, and ultimately competing for that elusive Super Bowl. Cleveland fans are counting on him, and honestly, the entire organization is too. The season isn't over yet, and there's still plenty of football to be played. If Garrett can keep his head up and lead by example, the Browns could still have a lot to celebrate come February. In conclusion, the situation with Myles Garrett is a microcosm of the Browns' current state, full of potential, with underlying frustrations, but also with a lot of room for growth. His decision to stay, despite the trade requests and the emotional roller coaster, shows a level of commitment that shouldn't be underestimated. The challenge now is for him to channel that frustration into leadership and performance to be the difference-maker Cleveland needs. As fans, we have every reason to stay optimistic, but also to stay realistic. The road to the Super Bowl isn't easy, and it's paved with both victories and setbacks. Garrett's role in this journey will be pivotal, and we all look forward to seeing how he responds in the coming games. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Garrett will be able to turn his frustration into motivation? How do you see the team's future unfolding? Your opinion matters so much to us, and of course to the Browns. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so make sure to stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. Keep supporting your team, keep believing, and let's ride this roller coaster together. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this Browns family, and the best is yet to come.